Hey, good Tuesday morning. Thanks for checking out your latest 21st Century Equipment Forecast update. This is meteorologist Kirk Entz here with BAM Weather. Time right now is just after 7 a.m. local time here. Not a whole lot going on. Temperatures fairly mild here. Widespread in the 60s to lower 70s here. We did mention yesterday a couple very, very light showers possible up here near Rapid City. Otherwise, we're not really seeing anything at all going on at the radar. And it's going to be another one of those days where we're under high pressure into tomorrow as well, where most of us are going to stay completely dry. So let's go ahead and just dive right into the details here. I'm going to start things off here around the noon hour here. So between noon and I would say 3 p.m. here. Again, central parts of Colorado, which is out of our forecast area, maybe a couple areas, 20% southeastern Wyoming by 3 p.m. We start to see a little bit of isolated storm activity as we transition into 6 p.m. here. Same areas, but notice parts of southwestern South Dakota, western Nebraska, western Kansas, eastern Colorado, we're all dry. We're all underneath that dome of high pressure. So what I'm basically saying is most of the day, all of the day today, we're completely dry and we're very warm. Temperatures getting well into the mid to upper 90s, once again near triple digits in some areas, especially north into southwest South Dakota as well. And then again, I do think that there is a couple areas, southwestern South Dakota, maybe eastern, east central, southeastern Wyoming, where we see a 20% shot overnight of an isolated shower as we're waking up tomorrow morning. Confidence is lower on that. It's not going to be a widespread. As we transition again tomorrow, Wednesday, noon to 3 p.m., same areas, same coverage, 20-30%. I think there could be a little bit more coverage. However, between 3 to 6 p.m., I think a couple storms, maybe one or two of them being strong as well across central parts of Colorado, southeastern parts of Wyoming are going to be possible here. The flow is going to be more south to north here as that ridge starts to slowly migrate east more into the central plains. It's going to bring a little bit more precipitation chances as it does so. So as we go throughout the overnight, Wednesday night into Thursday morning, the main chances are going to be southeastern Wyoming and southwestern South Dakota here for our best 30 to 40% shot of scattered thunderstorms. Again, a couple of these may be strong, not going to be widespread strong. However, about 80% of us stay dry, especially across Nebraska, eastern Colorado, and western Kansas here. So as we transition into Thursday afternoon, noon into 3 p.m. here, we're just going to kind of reload it once again. I'm going to show you that here in a second. But over the next 60 hours, this is total precipitation from the 3-kilometer high-resolution NAM model. The best areas in our forecast area for precipitation are going to be kind of right in here, where I think, that's where around that 30% coverage, maybe 40% at times as we transition Wednesday into Thursday is going to be found of a base of quarter to 3/4, maybe locally 1 to 1.5 inches if an area, a couple 1 to 2 pockets picks up multiple rounds of storms here. But look, in Nebraska, eastern Kansas, western Kansas, eastern Colorado, just nothing here. And that's just because it's responsible underneath of that area of higher pressure. So looking at highs really fast over the next 2 days. This is today. Again, I do think some areas, especially across eastern parts of Colorado, southeastern Wyoming, northwestern Nebraska, southwestern Dakotas, South Dakota, near triple digits here. But, it's a dry heat. Dew points are, in the upper 40s to mid-50s here, so we're going to drop off pretty fast overnight. We're going to see temperatures more in the mid to upper 60s to lower 70s here, especially south. And as we get into tomorrow here, I think it's a little bit more moderated up here, upper 80s to lower 90s to the north. However, you go further south, we're still dealing with mid to upper 90s here. And then same thing with overnight lows. We're still socked with widespread into the mid to upper 60s here. A little bit cooler in some places here in southeastern Wyoming as that ridge transitions east. I do think we could be in the lower 60s. So let's go ahead and take a look at the remainder of the week here as we go forward. I'm going to start things off as we get into Thursday. So Thursday afternoon to, again, about 6 p.m., we increase shower and storm activity as that ridge pushes off further east. You can see we have kind of a frontal boundary here that's responsible for some shower and storm activity. I think the main focus is going to be here still, again, central Colorado here across southeastern Wyoming, northwestern Nebraska as we get into Thursday evening. And then this kind of just weakens a little bit as the majority of the storm activity is going to be further to the north and to the east out of our forecast area. But as we transition into Friday night, I think this area here, as we go into Friday night, this is where we see kind of our better first shot of the week of more widespread shower and storm activity, mainly across eastern Colorado, northwestern Kansas, and kind of south central west central Nebraska here. I think Friday night, later Friday afternoon into Friday night, that's our best shot, our best first shot of the week for more widespread rainfall across the area. And as we transition into Saturday here, I think overall not a ton going on. I think the majority of the shower and storm activities in Nebraska, east central Nebraska. And as we get into Sunday, more of the same here. I think we're dealing with some scattered shots across southwestern Nebraska and into parts of northwestern Kansas. So there is a couple shots here, especially Friday and into Saturday here. And then we weaken our chances as we get Saturday into Sunday. So looking at total rainfall in this period here, it's really going to depend on where we are. If we're across parts of the area, across eastern Colorado, western Kansas, I think 1/2 inch to 1 inch is a solid bet here. I definitely think that's the area with the lowest kind of confidence of precipitation. However, you know, all of our locations that are kind of right in this area here, I think have a good shot at seeing 3/4 of an inch to, you know, locally 1.5 inches certainly can't be ruled out. This takes us all the way into about Monday here, so that gives us a good base. So where I wanted to end this off here is our weeks 1 and 2 outlooks here. You can see as we get more into the weekend and early next week, we start working in above normal precipitation here, 150 to 200% above the normal. We see that moisture wrapping around that central U.S. ridge. As we transition into week 2, I think this is where we start to get a lot more moisture. That's next week here. I think we really start to pump in some southwest and northeast flow here. We really start to increase our precipitation chances. And that also comes at a cost of that heat too. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see it. So we are going to get slightly below normal temperatures here, especially across the northern tier of our area, and that's just precipitation induced. There's a lot of opportunity for precipitation here. So that'll get us at least through the next couple of weeks, guys. If you have any questions, please let us know. Have a wonderful and blessed day ahead.